What up guys? So today we have another strategy for Anzen, and this one it is a 4-in-1 strategy. Yes, you heard that right. We're going to be farming 4 projects in one, but also we're going to be earning way more points with this strategy. So this is by using Hyperlock, and we're going to be earning 35x's in comparison to what we have been using, which is extra finance that we're earning 20x's. So obviously a big difference. Almost 100% more is what we're going to be earning. So this definitely gives you an edge if you're not using a crazy amount of money, but also we're going to be farming 4 projects in total. So let's go ahead and show you guys the process. By the way, in a nutshell, in case you don't know, Anzen, it is the parent company of USDZ. That is a stable coin that is backed by RWA. Currently, they have an active campaign for TGE, or their airdrop, where basically you add some liquidity using their stablecoin, USDZ. You're going to be earning some points, and in the future, this will be converted into your airdrop or your reward. It is estimated more or less that we should get the airdrop around September. At least that is my estimation, but obviously don't quote me on it. Go ahead and check all the documentation and check by yourself. If you want a more in-depth explanation on what is Anzen, go ahead and check my previous video, because I actually went a little bit more in depth with what they are. But for this strategy, first step is that if you haven't signed up, you do need to join the campaign. I'm going to be adding the link in the description for Anzen. Once you're in, you're going to need some funds on Blast. As usual, I just use Jumper, but obviously you guys can use whatever bridge you prefer, and then send some ETH to Blast. So I went with Arbitrum to Blast, received my funds, and then once you're here, you need to swap it for USDZ or USDB. Doesn't really matter which one you go with, but I went with USDZ. So for example, we do ETH Blast, we go to Blast again, we do USDZ, and let's say 0.01, just to show you guys the process. So here it is. By the way, there is a small price impact, which is 1.13%, but by the day it is actually decreasing. So last time that I checked yesterday, it was almost at 2%, and right now it is at 1.13%. So obviously, as more people add more money, the price impact will continue to decrease. But just so you know, there is a more or less a 1% price impact. So if you're putting in $100, just know that you're going to be losing $1, just so you know. So once you have your funds, again, you send some funds to Blast, you do the swap again, ETH for USDZ. And then once you have your funds, you go to Hyperlock, which is where it gets pretty interesting. So right here, we're going to be earning some Hyper points. We're going to be earning some Blast points because it is on Blast. So for the second airdrop for Blast, obviously we are participating, even though I'm not expecting anything huge from Blast, but still we need to be using Blast. So in the end, whatever I get from it, I'm cool with it. Then third, we have Trust Points, which is Truster, another project that is also having an airdrop in the future. And lastly, obviously our primary focus, which is Anzen, so we can earn 35x's points on this strategy. So we go down, we look for USDZ. By default, it will be like that. So you guys can just type USDZ. You look for the pool, you click on it, you click Zap, so that means you don't really need to be holding both tokens. So you can use either USDB or USDZ. I have some USDZ, so I click on Max. We go ahead and approve. Let's go ahead and approve that transaction. So there we go. Approve, and once approved, obviously we're going to be clicking on Zap. Zap means that they're going to be swapping half of it so they can create an LP, because LPs means that you're going to need half of one token and then half of the other token. They're going to do the process for you automatically. We do Zap and confirm. And also it is adding it into full range. There it is. So we have our pool right here. Look at this, and then we do stake. Let's go ahead and confirm that transaction once again. And there we go. We're basically done. Nothing else to do. That's it. Let's go ahead and refresh to see if it is showing up or if we need to wait. And here it is. So now we have our position open, and basically we're going to be earning, as I said, some hyper points, some blast points, some trust points, and also Anzen. By the way, if you haven't signed up for blast, I'm going to be adding the link in the description. Most likely most of you are already on blast, but if you haven't done it, you're going to need an invite code. So I'm going to add mine in the description. If not, you guys can just search for one on Twitter. Basically, that's it. Just a quick recap in case you missed something. First step is getting some money on blast. Use whatever you prefer. It doesn't really matter. You don't need to use jumper. Just use whatever you prefer. Once you are on blast, swap some ETH for USDZ so you can have some funds. Next, you go to hyper, you look for USDZ pool, and then you add some funds into it, and that's it. Obviously, you make sure that you are in. As you guys can see, portfolio value dropped, and it is, let me go ahead and refresh. It will show right here, but as I was reading on their Discord group, there is an issue right now with the UI. So your points will not show up automatically. But again, since everything is recorded on the blockchain, it doesn't really matter. This is just a front end issue that it is not showing on our end. But that doesn't mean it is not being tracked, because if I check the transaction, I can actually check when I deposited my funds and everything else. So it doesn't really matter by the time that you add your funds, because in the end, once this is fixed, you will see your points increasing, and it will add the total amount for the time that you have been staking. So yeah, there you go, guys. Any questions, any doubts, just let me know. But I do feel this is a pretty decent opportunity to have an edge if you're not using a crazy amount of money. Even if you are, you can earn around 80% more points, and obviously you can farm multiple things. For all of the other ones that have been using extra finance, it is not necessary for you to remove your funds if you don't feel like it. If you do prefer just having some funds into extra finance and then continue to earn the amount of points that you have been earning, go ahead and continue to do that, because it doesn't really matter. In the end, it is just a set of preference, and obviously if you want to earn more points. But still, with that, I have been farming it or just providing liquidity for the past few days, and you guys can see that my rank is already at 2.9k. And by the way, this is not even taking into consideration my referrals, because referrals are not being added right here. So with just $137, which is what I had for the past few days, already at 21,000 points, rank 2.9k, pretty easy. So there you go, guys. Any questions, any doubts, just let me know. I'm going to be adding all the links in the description for simplicity. Peace out. Bye-bye.